Welcome into the 615 Sessions podcast on this Friday, March 21st. Happy spring to everybody. It's a beautiful day here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's always a beautiful day to hang out with you guys, and it is even better when you can talk about the potential of a Super Bowl coming to Nashville. So, no outright changes at this point in time in the timeline for that taking place. But we did have a couple of different things over the course of the last couple of weeks that we've put together that have told us some information about where the Super Bowl in Nashville's first year of eligibility might be heading versus what the state of Tennessee is going to try and do to get it to come here instead of where they are planning on currently hosting the 2029 Super Bowl. We will look forward to having you as a part of the conversation. We always love when you guys stop by. The podcast is presented by Zen Sports. We got March Madness going on TV right now, as a matter of fact. Always one of my favorite times of year, and certainly it's a great time of year to get in on all the action. The promo code ATOZTN is what you use to bet on all your favorite major sports, including the tournament that is currently taking place. We're rooting for Lipscomb right now, a 14 seed. Local ties against Iowa State, because not only would we like to see a local team win in Lipscomb, but Iowa State's basketball coach declined the opportunity to be Indiana's basketball coach, which is my alma mater. And so I would like to see him lose in the first round of the tournament. And it would make me very happy if that was to Lipscomb. But we're not here to talk college basketball. By the way, terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and in the state of Tennessee to bet at Zen Sports. Super Bowl in Nashville is something that we have all dreamt about for quite some time. There's no better city, I would argue, anywhere in America to host multi-day events the scale of something like the Super Bowl. Because the Super Bowl is not a day. It may be a day for some of you, but in reality, when you actually see, if any of you have ever been or gotten the opportunity to go to one of the Super Bowl host cities during the week that the event is going on there, you know damn well that it's not just one day. It's not just Super Bowl Sunday. In fact, the bulk of the fun stuff around the Super Bowl happens in the week leading up to the Super Bowl. Nashville has proven time and time again, whether it's the NFL draft in 2019 or the Stanley Cup final in 2017, or things that we have done on Lower Broadway, like the new uniform release and concert with Florida Georgia Line here a couple of years ago with the Tennessee Titans. I think that was in 18. We've done so many. We do the SEC tournament weekend so well. Super Bowl is obviously a different scale. Super Bowl is an international event. But the city of Nashville is ready, willing, and able, and currently working on hotel capacity to get up to snuff for something of that scale. But they're trying to get into the mix as soon as the new Nissan Stadium opens. The new Nissan Stadium is set to open in 2027. And by the NFL's rules, when it comes to new stadium construction and the potential for that site to be a host city for a Super Bowl, there's a couple of different requirements that they talk about, whether it's capacity or the proper domed conditions to make sure that if it's in a cold weather city, you can still host the Super Bowl there without issue. That is something that obviously the new Nissan Stadium is going to have. They're not going to quite get to the seating capacity, but they have been granted an exemption, essentially, for the new Nissan Stadium. So while it will come under the required amount of seats, it will meet the required amount of suites, which means more money in the NFL's pocket. So as long as they have that to offset, that's all well and good. And then we had Governor Bill Lee come to town yesterday and take a tour of the new Nissan Stadium and declare that he was going to push for a 2029 Super Bowl in Nashville. And there was a couple of interesting things that he said as a part of his visit. There was, of course, the tour itself, which I took actually at the new Nissan Stadium. Lucas and me went to the new Nissan Stadium. We were part of like the second tour group. We got to see the external goings on of the building. We got to see the new main entrance on the west side of the stadium. We got to see from, I believe it's the 200 or 300 level, which is right where the concrete stops and the steel begins, because it's going to be almost twice the height of the current Nissan Stadium, because this will be an at street level venue, as opposed to Nissan, which I think is 70 foot below street level, with the way that they have the stadium situated and the tunnels underneath it and the drainage system, everything that they need to make the old Nissan Stadium work with the current conditions. The new Nissan Stadium is going to tower over this thing. So I got to take a tour of this site, and I've never been on a construction site ever, much less one of that scale. I was blown away. There are so many different things that go into that. And of course, you know, we all have been in skyscrapers or stadiums or feats of architectural, I would call it architectural greatness, right? Really high level stuff, high level projects. Not all of us get the opportunity to see what it looks like and how it's built and get an explanation from somebody who's on site to essentially provide you with a variety of different things to help you learn more about, all right, this is what's going to go into it. This is how much of the stadium, the old stadium, is going to be recyclable, all these different things. And ultimately, with a world-class venue that they want to host world-class international events as they continue to scale up in the city of Nashville. Now, Bill Lee was here yesterday, and he submitted what's called a letter of interest expressing his desire to host the 2029 Super Bowl at the new Nissan Stadium in Nashville. This is according to Bill Lee. The, quote, world-class facility will make Tennessee the top destination for the nation's biggest events, from the Super Bowl to the Final Four and beyond. He goes into detail in this letter to Roger Goodell about the scale of the success of larger scale events like the draft, like CMA Fest, obviously, the SEC Championship that we host. And I'll read you the full letter. Dear Commissioner Goodell and NFL team, I'm writing in support of efforts for Nashville to be the host city for the next available Super Bowl in 2029. As Tennessee's state capital and a dynamic global hub, the city of Nashville is uniquely positioned to welcome the NFL for a memorable and successful event. Nashville is an easily accessible, top global destination with a proven track record of hosting safe and seamless large-scale events like the NFL Draft, CMA Fest, and the SEC Championship. Football fans will no doubt enjoy Music City's world-famous honky-tonks, live music, and attractions and restaurants. The state of Tennessee's investment in the construction of the new Nissan Stadium reflects our commitment to hosting the world's most anticipated sporting event. This thoughtfully designed state-of-the-art stadium, which will boast the closest viewing experience in football, is sure to provide an unrivaled experience to players and fans. Signed, Governor Bill Lee of the state of Tennessee. So right now, that would align with what the NFL's current trajectory for new stadiums is, to be able to host a Super Bowl. And we got some people trickling in the comments, by the way, if you're hanging out, if you're live streaming the podcast with us this afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, where it just says Billy Bob on Facebook, who writes, the new Tennessee, well, he says New Clown Stadium. So the new Tennessee New Clown Stadium is the biggest joke in the NFL. Who wants to come and watch the biggest clown show ever? Same crap team, and they think they deserve a new clown show venue. Wake up, Nashville. That's your tax dollars going to waste. And he spells waste incorrectly.
That's why mine's been so thick lately. All your tax dollars have been going to my waste.
I would say that it is the Fritos that you've been sleep eating and leaving a strewn in your bedroom or whatever else it is. I've never heard of a sleep eater. Bert, is that still a problem that you're having?
Oh my God, all the time. Like,
really?
Last night, Cheyenne and I stopped to get cookout on the way home. Didn't eat. Like, I passed out.
What, you drunk?
I passed out at home in my recliner. I didn't eat hardly any of my cookout food. But then Sleepy Bert woke up and he decided that he was going to eat everything left in my tray and everything left in Cheyenne's tray. And I think there were 3 mandarins. Like, there were just orange peels all on my side of the bed. So at some point I also got up, got some mandarins and peeled them, which was nice of me because I think I have eaten the peels in the past.
No, Robert.
I don't I can't control this shit. It just happens. Like, I swear I would probably be just like a stacked up, yoked up dude if I didn't eat every night in my sleep. Like I don't even like Oreos, but if Cheyenne has Oreos in the house, I'll dust a sleeve of them easily in one night. Wake up with just black crumbs and cream out. Should have just left the cream part out. But anyway, yes, I'm still eating in my sleep. I need one of the like a ball gag or something at night, or like mouth tape, something to like keep me from like putting things in my mouth. And then I'll start using like apples as suppositories. Who knows at that point? I'll be so hungry, but
always a pleasure.
Good to see
you. So, from apple suppositories to the new Nissan Stadium, here's what stands out to me about Bill or Bob or Billy Bob, whatever, his comment on Facebook beyond the grammatical errors. It doesn't matter. Like, the Titans being ass does not matter for the success of the Nissan Stadium, for the new Nissan Stadium. It doesn't really matter for the success of the old Nissan Stadium. Let me explain to you how many more events that stadium, that venue, is going to host beyond 8 and sometimes 9. Well, I guess technically, Jesus, the cat is in here trying to swipe a bug out from under the blinds and has just knocked over a whole bunch of stuff if you hear anything in the background. The new Nissan Stadium is going to be, it immediately added $1 billion to Amy Adams Strunk's net worth because it increases the value of the franchise, but the franchise comes with the venue. The venue is in her family's name, even though she has taken some subsidies from the state and from the city of Nashville in terms of the hotel motel tax that is being raised and the $500 million in bonds, I believe, that she got from the state of Tennessee. She liquidated her own assets, and she owns the majority of the new venue. So it's got nothing to do with the Titans because she's going to host Beyonce concerts and WrestleMania and the Super Bowl and the Final Four and the college football playoff. You know how much more money those things make than 8 or 9 Titans home games every year? The Titans just happen to be here. That's how I think of the stadiums, new stadiums for bad teams. And it's not like, I mean, I guess the Raiders have been an all right team. They're a historically followed franchise, but they moved it to Vegas, and it's not like the most recent iteration of the Raiders in Oakland deserved a new stadium to be built. No, it's about how much more revenue you can generate off everything else. And that venue becomes more valuable in a city like Las Vegas or a city like Nashville that is an entertainment hub. So while I get the thought process, it really ignores the financial circumstance around everything else. And you can still be pissed that your tax dollars are going to it. I'm not going to, you're allowed to be upset or not upset about what happens with your money or doesn't happen with your money. That's your business, not mine. But it's got nothing to do with how bad the Titans are. It's got everything to do with the fact that there's an NFL franchise here, which means that you have to have an NFL venue here, which means that you can upgrade your NFL venue and then make more money off all the different things that upgraded venue can host. So that's where I'm at with the Titans right now in the new Nissan Stadium. How much of it? Vegas is currently favored. I saw an article in Pro Football Talk a couple of almost months ago talking about the league favoring Las Vegas in 2029 as a part of putting Vegas and Los Angeles on a 5-year track to host the Super Bowls every year in their new venues, and Nashville kind of being on the wrong end of that timeline, trying to squeeze into the mix on all of this, because Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk was reporting again months ago that Las Vegas is looked at as potential to host either 2029, 2030, or 2031 at Allegiant Stadium. They sent a letter of intent to the NFL, reaching out to the Raiders in Vegas about gauging their interest in being a host city during that time. Roger Goodell also said after Super Bowl 58 that he praised the city's efforts as a host and made it clear that it was only a matter of time before they brought it back to Las Vegas. Obviously, that was last year, 2 years ago. Super Bowl's not the most recent Super Bowl. They are continuing to assess things in Vegas, and 29, 30, and 31 would put them on a timeline of every 5 years, which is something that the new venues are intent on trying to accomplish, which would be great if Nashville was a host city every 5 years. But I think that all the different things that you see with the Tennessee Titans at this point in time is them trying to muscle in before Vegas gets another crack at these things. And I think Nashville would crush it. And I think the allure of doing it in Nashville for the first time over Vegas for the second would be something that the league is interested in. And the league has always had a good relationship with the Titans organization because, and the state of Tennessee, because of how well they do events and how proven we are as an event city. Bearded on YouTube says Nashville draft was the best draft so far. Nashville can handle it. Sounds like Detroit did a really nice job with it as well. From everything that I saw, they broke the attendance record that Nashville set, but I think if Nashville got another crack at it, and by the way, that was in the rain. That was in what, 2.5 days of rain in Nashville in the middle of April, which is also a factor you have to take into consideration. But I think that football fans will flock here in droves, especially for how much fun the first one was. The second one would only be bigger, and I think that we would again break the attendance record at that point. Brandon Tyler says that Morgan Wallen halftime show would kill. Oh, I hope not. I mean, I don't dislike Morgan Wallen's music, but I don't like it either. Like, I don't know. I mean, I get it's mainstream, so maybe I'm the dumb one apparently. I and it's not, I get his appeal. Like, I get the aesthetic for sure. Maybe I'm just not sophisticated enough in my country music taste, but I don't know. Couldn't we get somebody better? Also, I don't want a country music act in Nashville. We get country music here all the time. Let's do something else. But that's probably, inevitably, that's what would end up happening. Now, if they brought out a bunch of different country acts and made it like a whole thing, and you had Dolly Parton or Reba McEntire and Morgan
you know
Wallen.
who would be good for this? Because as much as I like her, all of her best stuff is covers, so she could host with anyone. It would be a Miley Cyrus halftime show.
Oh, I like that so much better.
Because then Miley can have Dolly. Miley can do shit with anyone. All of her best stuff is covers anyway. Like, so if you brought her out, like, that could marry country, that could marry rock, that could marry R&B, however you want to do it. Like, but that has long been my opinion for what they should do for the Nashville halftime show.
And she's such a good entertainer. Like,
she would kill it. And revel in those moments to entertain, like the showmanship of the halftime show.
No, Miley Cyrus is an excellent performer. I would love that. That would be way better than now. If she brought out Morgan Wallen or something like that, that would crush too. Like, there's, again, to your point, you could put Miley Cyrus with 3 6 Mafia. You could put Miley Cyrus with Morgan Wallen. You know what I'm saying? Like, she can do it. I love that idea. All right. That was actually a good contribution to the podcast. Well done by you.
You want to hear a joke?
Only if it means that we can end this.
Okay, cool. All right. 89-year-old man goes to the doctor. He's like, Doc, man, my wife's not really listening to me anymore. He's like, I think she's getting hard of hearing. Like, is there anything I can do for that? And the doctor says, well, he's like, you got to do the distance test. He's like, so you'll stand 40 feet away from her, say something, and you walk in, you see where her ears kind of perk up at, and I'll build her a hearing aid for that. So he goes home. He's like, all right. So he kind of gets his tape measure out, measures 40 meters away, and he's like, what's for dinner, honey? Keeps cooking. Goes in 30 feet. What's for dinner, honey? This deaf old hag. 20 feet. What's for dinner? And he just goes ahead and gets it. What's for dinner? And she's like, for the 4th time, it's chicken. All right, one more. Same old man. Same old man. Same old man's with his old lady.
I couldn't even get you to show up on time for the podcast. Now you want to prolong it by telling jokes?
The same old man goes to the doctor. He's like, Doc, I need a sperm test. He's like, no, dude, you're 89. He's like, just humor me, please. And he's like, okay, take this jar home, bring it back tomorrow. So the next old man goes home, comes back the next day with the jar. And doctor looks at it. He says, man, it's empty. He's like, man, believe me, I tried. I tried with my left hand, tried with my right hand, I even got my neighbor. Went over to my neighbor, had him try left hand, had him try right hand. We couldn't get the lid off the jar.
I hate you so much. End the podcast.
Bye.